That's what they said.
If I could say anything to a mother who just got their children detained, you're in a crisis. Life feels like it's over. The most important thing is regaining custody of your children.
The child welfare system at its core is designed to protect children who need protection. Okay, and that's key, is who need protection.
So social workers, out of fear, will remove more children rather than only remove those children that truly need to be removed.
The difference between the criminal system and the child welfare system is substantial. You have more rights as a criminal than you do as a parent.
You're not proving your guilt, innocence, or anything. You're proving how better a parent you are to the system. And you're just driving to be the parent.
Typically associate blessing with this fictional, painless existence and things going as we think they should.
Because it's so frustrating when you're the parent and you feel like, the judge, he doesn't know. And like you said, who is he going to believe? The parents accused of these horrendous allegations, or the social worker? Why would she lie about it?
The kids are traumatized, and the one person that they need to go to is still unsure what really happened.
Were there signs there? Were there no signs? Did I miss them? Did I catch them? At this point, I honestly don't know.
Families only get a finite amount of time to reunify.
The families are destroyed, sometimes never to come back the same.
Come here.
Kids are not safe in child protective services.
So my son with special needs has been
Mr. Davis.
Yes. Good afternoon. How is everyone?
Good.
Good. How are you?
First of all, I'd like to introduce Cassandra. Cassandra is starting a new show for us. It's going to be Fight CPS with Cassandra. And the show's going to be on Mondays, Cassandra?
Yes, at 9 a.m.
At 9 a.m.
Yes.
So I want to invite everyone to tune in at that time on our different Facebook platforms and YouTube platforms to watch Cassandra. Tomorrow, what's the show going to be about?
Tomorrow, I'm actually going to discuss about what to do when you go to the ER and actually get accused of what is abuse. And I have found an article actually that I've read about that tells you and gives you advice on what to do and how to go about that and keep your cool before something happens, about that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, very good. Very good. And Ms. Truan, when is your next show?
Next week on Wednesday, Thursdays, and Fridays.
Okay. And are all the shows Fight CPS with Miss G?
Wednesday is Fight CPS with Miss G. On Thursday is Fight CPS Real Talk with Miss G. And Friday is Relatives Fight CPS.
Okay, very good. What shall we talk about today?
I don't know. CPS?
About fighting CPS? Did you guys have any questions you wanted to ask me today?
I actually had something that I wanted to bring up, if I could.
Certainly. Go ahead.
I've had some people contact me about Miss G, saying things about her and starting to start rumors about her. And I just want to let everybody know that if it wasn't for Miss G, I would have not been where I am right now. I called her and I called her office prior to the show, before I went on the show and stuff, and she called me really immediately. She was very attentive, very caring, and I don't think I'd be where I am right now without her. And for people to bash her or try to smear her or anything like that is like horrible, because she's a good person and she's really, really, I swear, like, I don't know what I would do without you guys and this show that I'm doing. It's like therapy to me, you know? I really don't. And I'm glad that I have her. I called any other attorneys and they never got my call. Like, they never called me back. And she called me back, and people to smear her or bash her or try to start rumors about her is horrible. And I just want everybody to know that Miss G is a really good person and that you guys are really good people. And just because they don't get what they want with retainers or stuff like that, it shouldn't matter. You help them either way. You helped me a lot, both of you. And I can't afford you guys. Like, I can't afford you as an attorney, but you still have helped me so much. And it's not fair that people don't get what they want and they want to start trying to disrupt people's lives. You know what I mean? We should be working together to get our kids back. And that's what really matters. And I just want that to be said. Just to let you know. Sorry.
No, it's all right, Cassandra. I didn't know you were going to bring this up. Yesterday, I don't know if you watched the show or not, but I kind of talked about this yesterday. One of the things that holds us back as a group of people trying to fight CPS, both attorneys and parents and advocates, are sometimes people in the group, and I'm talking about nationwide, just not my group, people in the group nationwide, they want to tear you down and not support each other. You know, I was given this example many, many, many years ago, and it's a very true example. I want you to imagine that you have a bucket, and you put one crab in the bucket. If that one crab were in the bucket by itself with no top on it, the crab could crawl out of the bucket and escape. If you put that crab in with multiple crabs in the bucket, no crab will ever escape. And the reason is that each crab would be pulling the other crab back down into the bucket as they all try to escape. And none of them would ever get out of the bucket. And it's kind of like that, you know, in the CPS world. You know, everyone's concerned about, you know, losing their children, about getting their children back. And, you know, I understand it. But sometimes human nature takes us to that very dark side, you know. And Miss G is on this program and on these other shows trying to help people. And people, you know, make negative comments. And I just chalk it up because that's just human nature. But let's all try to be a better human being. You know, I don't know if you know this, Cassandra, because you and I have never talked about this. I have a YouTube channel, and it's called the CPS Defense Strategist. And, you know, Georgette doesn't have anything to do with that particular channel. I mean, some of her shows end up on the channel, but she doesn't do the show for the YouTube channel. I just use them on there sometimes. But anyway, to make a long story short, do you know that maybe once or twice or 3 times a week, people comment on the channel? I mean, they comment negatively about the channel. And usually my comment back to them is, hey, don't watch the channel, right? Why do you keep watching the channel and making negative comments? Usually the comments are, Davis, you don't know what you're talking about. Well, I'm 35 years plus as an attorney, thousands of cases in my firm, representing people all over in CPS cases. I know what I'm doing. Now,
Mhm.
you could say a lot of things about me, but you can't say that. So, it's just a human phenomenon that people will try to bring you down like one of the crabs in the bucket. And the more you try to help and the more people know about you, the more negative comments you're going to get. Now, the interesting thing is that a lot of the negative comments, I mean, someone told Georgette this maybe a few weeks ago. They told Georgette that if I didn't represent them for free, that they would make negative comments about me and about Georgette all over the internet. Georgette texted me and I called her and I said, well, you know what? They're just going to have to make comments about me negatively and about you negatively all over the internet because I don't deal with terrorists, right? You don't make a threat and then ask me to represent you.
Yeah.
I told this to someone recently. I said, if your strategy is for me to help you, threatening me is not the greatest strategy in the world.
Mm.
I said, do you think terrorists always, win out in the world? That's a bad strategy. A better strategy is to call me up or call Georgette up and say, look, I'm the biggest victim in the world. I'm sad. My world has been turned apart. I'm about to kill myself. Please help me. Oh, okay. You need help. Let's talk about it. But, and I don't really fault these people. I know Georgette is really down on it, but, when you're about to lose your child or you're losing your child, I mean, you get desperate. You do
Yeah.
shit. You say things. And so I kind of take it in that vein and, I try to move on. But negative comments by anyone about you or about me, yes, they hurt. But that doesn't mean I'm going to succumb to your demands,
Yeah.
right?
I
So
just wanted to say that because I know there was people contacting me trying to talk bad about her, and I just want everybody to know if anybody's contacting you bad about Georgette, she's not a bad person. Far from it. I admire her for everything she does. She's really awesome. Like, so awesome. I love her.
Well, I appreciate those kind words. I know Georgette appreciates those kind words. So let's just move on with the show today.
Okay.
What questions do you guys want to ask me that I could answer?
A couple of people asked about yesterday's show about the family and custody show, how to do your own divorce and custody. They would like to know when that's going to be. And another question about the CPS defense strategy and the blog talkradio.com. They would like to know when that will start. And you mentioned something about teachable.com. I wrote it down because I didn't want to forget to mention it. And then today you mentioned the CPS seminar and online. Oh, no, I'm sorry. You also mentioned the CPS seminar online course, right? How to do a civil rights case against social workers. People are interested in that. And several people contacted me and asked me if I can bring it up to your attention today when I told them we have a live show.
Okay, fair enough. So you don't know this, Georgette, but I'm working with someone at my office. His name is Michael, and he is organizing a lot of these things for me, helping me get them together. You know, someone was asking me about the YouTube video, the YouTube channel, and on the channel there are a lot of videos, instructional videos that where I try to help people or help callers. And you'd be surprised the number of people that are involved in getting that channel or getting a video uploaded into that channel. First of all, there's, me just doing the raw footage of the video, talking to people like we're talking now. But, there's a producer we have by the name of Grace. There's a video editor that we have by the name of Miranda. There are, several other people involved in this process. It's just not, shoot the video and throw it up on YouTube. That's not how it works. So, all of these courses, like that course, that the online CPS course that's at teachable.com, you wouldn't believe the number of people that were involved in making that happen. But all you do is you see me talking on each video. And I think there's like 10 or 12 videos, I forget. But there had to be editing of the video. There had to be a guy that had to make the video, editing of the video, loading it, formatting the video, and finally figuring out what Teachable was about and formatting it for Teachable and uploading it to Teachable and filling out all these forms. It's a really kind of involved process. So in terms of the online CPS seminar, if you want to learn about how to do a CPS case, generally speaking, just go to teachable.com and the course is there. Regarding the civil rights case, we are shooting that seminar like one episode at a time. And, fortunately or unfortunately, that's going to be like it's right now going to be probably a 25-week course. One new video will be released each week. And it's going to cover things like, how do you do a lawsuit in federal court for civil rights violations against a social worker who probably has qualified immunity in your state? Okay, that's a very complex, question. A lot of people think, well, I've been wronged, my civil rights have been violated, let's just do a lawsuit, snap our fingers, and blah, we're there. It doesn't work like that. And if you want to sue a social worker, you better know what you're doing, or you're going to end up being sued yourself for frivolously suing a social worker, right? So we're going to cover a little bit about the civil rights laws. We're going to cover how to do a complaint. And here's one thing people have asked me for years, and I've never really took the time and done this. I've actually drafted 2 civil rights complaints that you can file against a social worker. Now, they're templates, right? They don't cover 100% of everything about your case. And when you read the template, you'll be able to see how you'll need and, where you'll need to change the facts. But that will be part of the course. And I think that's the first or second video in the course. You're going to get your own copy of a civil rights complaint where you can just change the names, add in specific things about your case, and file it in court. So that's going to be kind of, in my mind, a big thing. Here's a comment that somebody just put on YouTube. No warrant. No warrant is one of the ways that you can sue a social worker for not for violating your civil rights. So that'll be coming. What were some of the other things that you mentioned, Ms. G?
Someone wants to know, can you sue social workers when they think that you can sue a social worker to get their kids back? I tried to say that's 2 different things. Am I right or am I wrong?
No, you are absolutely right. People, I talk to people all the time, and they think that if they bring a civil rights lawsuit against a social worker, that's going to get them their child back. And that's absolutely not correct. The only thing you get when you sue a social worker for civil rights violations is money, if you win.
Settlement, yeah.
Yeah. You don't get your child back. And if you want your child back, you have to go to juvenile dependency court if the case is still open, and fight for your child in juvenile dependency court. If the case is closed, you're going to have to go to family law court to try to fight to get your child back or your children back. And I would say, Mrs. G or Miss G has been involved in both of those processes. It's not an easy thing to do sometimes when the CPS case has been closed and the child has been awarded custody, has been awarded to another parent. There's kind of a famous case out of Los Angeles, California, where a woman went to court, CPS court. They took her child away from her. They accused her of all kinds of, heinous things. And the child was awarded custody to the father, and the case was closed. That's it. There were factual findings made against her. She, for several years, shopped and looked for a civil rights attorney. And she finally found a gentleman who took the case. And as I understand it, I think the attorney told her, no, 4 times over 2 or 3 years that he wouldn't take the case. He finally took the case, and he won the case. And they won several millions of dollars, but she didn't get her child back. She then went to family law court, and she got another attorney to try to get the child back in family law court, even though she won the civil rights case. Do you know that I don't know how the outcome of the case, well, I actually do know the outcome, but I can't talk about it. But when she originally went to the family law court, the fact that she won the civil rights case didn't help her at all. Didn't help her at all. So keep those things separate in your mind, right? Winning your case in the CPS court, winning your case in a court of law where you're suing for civil rights violations, winning your case in, family law court. Those are all different things, all different laws, all different burdens of proof. Some are jury trials, some aren't jury trials, or just judge trials, at least in California. So it becomes, kind of complex. A lot of people I talk to, and I can see the common sense of this. They believe that if something has been decided in some court, it should apply to all courts. And that's not necessarily true. My rule of thumb is, if it helps you, it doesn't apply in all courts. If it hurts you, it will apply in all courts. Okay? I know that's a crazy rule, right? But it's just like O.J. Simpson. He gets found not guilty of killing 2 people, but they walk across the street, and in another court, he loses $40 million. How does that happen? Different courts, different laws, different burdens of proof. Remember that term, burdens of proof, because it's significant and it's important even in your CPS case.
Also, Johnny Depp lost in the UK and won in.
Oh, I didn't know he lost in the UK.
He lost
in the UK.
And he
brought
won
it to the United States.
Yeah,
Okay.
and he won in the US, correct.
Right. And, I don't really follow that trial. I would see it every once in a while on the news or on, Entertainment Tonight or, what's that other show? I forget the name of the other show, but,
Extra?
you see it on it's CNN. No, not Extra. It's
Or
the guy on
TMZ?
Yeah, TMZ. What's his name?
Oh,
Harvey Levin?
Harvey, yeah.
Yeah. Levin is an attorney.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah. He started off doing
I know that.
entertainment on Channel 4 in Los Angeles way back when. These, 2 or 3 minute segments on, basically entertainment people stuff. And look what he is now. He has that show is highly. I think he has 3 different shows. Did you know that?
Yeah.
He's like
Yeah.
he has like TMZ.
And I know he was like a
TMZ
guy on the sidelines of a courthouse show, like where he'd ask questions outside the courthouse to people,
Right.
like
Right.
for a minute
Yeah.
too. Like,
Yeah.
I forget what court show it was, but it was like a judge show that he was on, that he'd ask questions outside the, I think it's People's Court or something like that.
So here's a question from J Lowry 68, who's watching on the YouTube channel. He says, "Can you ask Vince if he has ever filed a Monell claim?" So I'm just going to answer your question. The answer is yes. A Monell claim is a special type of claim you can sue a governmental entity about because they violated certain civil rights that you have. Now, what J Lowry 68 didn't ask is, what is a Monell claim and how do you file it? Which I'll be covering in our civil rights course. Okay, a lot of people think that when you go to court, you just want to bring a Section 1983. Everybody's heard of 42 USC 1983, the civil rights statute in our country. But there's also other types of civil rights claims that some are statutory, some are non-statutory, meaning through case law and Monell. It's one of those types of claims. We have Dirk Diggler, who says you can't fight an evil entity. And
Yes,
I don't necessarily agree with Dirk, but I understand where he's coming from. It's hard. It's hard to, file a lawsuit against a governmental entity and win. Why? Because they have money. They have an unlimited supply of tax dollars to fight you.
Actually, Cassandra's going to talk about her show tomorrow about Governor Newsom, who is implementing a great deal of making sure that we have the right court-appointed attorneys in CPS cases.
Oh, really?
He's spending a lot of money from the California funds, and he's implementing it in also
Several different things he's
even shelters.
implementing.
I mean, homelessness. Yeah,
Homelessness, child welfare system, the whole abortion thing that's going on. He's doing stuff. He's doing a lot of stuff. He signed a lot of stuff into and he's doing a lot. I have the whole article. I'm reading it.
It's like over 140. Yeah, it's over at 140.
It's $308 billion towards a whole bunch of stuff in California to help.
Do you know who Governor Newsom's aunt is?
No.
Do you know, Cassandra?
No.
He comes from a very big, powerful political family. His aunt is Nancy Pelosi.
What? I can't stand Nancy Pelosi. Oh my God. Oh my God.
But he's doing a lot right now. He really is.
He is.
He's pushing the kinship thing in California too.
Yeah.
He's pushing it. That's another thing that he's putting money towards, to find kinship before foster care.
What a great idea that is, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's trying to push that.
No, I think that's great. That's great. And do you know that there will be people who will try to fight him on that?
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm sure there is already, because him and, what was it then, what law did he sign in, Miss G? With
the Nancy Skinner law,
the Nancy Skinner law that he signed in.
For the new relative.
Yeah, he's pushing that, but he's putting more funding towards it to find kinship for families.
Well, he signed it in effect. He signed it in effect January 1st of this year. And he's
actually putting more towards it. It says in that article.
Right. And he also, the social workers are playing dumb that there is no such law that relatives cannot have placement, which is not true. Relatives can have placement if their crime was decades ago and it poses no threat to current situation with their grandkids. So that is false. I know social workers are spreading that they don't know of this law. And I have shared a law a lot of people the link to that law being in effect.
He
Here's a
signed
comment from
quite
Ashley.
quite a few things in for child welfare. Like I was going over the article that had that law signed in, and he signed a lot of stuff in for child welfare. It's surprising. I get a newsletter from imprint.com or Imprint News, and they say it all. Like,
Thank
it's
you, babe.
good website.
Okay, here's Ashley. Ashley Clark says, I would love to do one as well. I want everyone to hear the story. Ashley, see the telephone number on the screen, 888-888-6582. Give us a call, ask for Miss G, and she will set you up with the producer and get you on one of these live shows. Okay. Georgette, what was one of the other things that you were asking about? You had a long list of things that we talked about yesterday, and I was surprised because I had forgotten about everything that we talked about.
Well, yeah, but people contact me after the show every time I do a show, and they want to touch base on the things I mentioned, the family and custody show. When is that going to be? They really are waiting for this because most of the cases that's coming to us are family custody that turns into juvenile dependency. And they're like in limbo between divorce, custody, and now juvenile. I try to explain to them once juvenile takes over, they supersede family law. And but they don't understand that. They still don't get it because they're new to the system. So they would like to have a show on, you know, family and custody and what to avoid for it not to turn into a juvenile dependency case. What are the things they need to avoid? They need understanding on that. Um, so
Jesse
they
Jones just posted, I need your help. Jesse, give us a call. 888-888-6582. Either ask for me or ask for Miss G. So when do you want to start the divorce and custody show, Miss G? When do you have time?
I don't know. My boss is Vincent Davis. He needs to make that decision for me. He knows what he puts on my load.
Okay, we'll come up with a time as of tomorrow and we'll let everyone know.
Okay.
All right. So let me look at some of the. Any other questions or things that you want to follow up? You mentioned the Blog Talk Radio show.
Yes. The blog talk radio show. When is that going to start? They need to know that.
That's going to start next week, next Saturday. And I used to do the show at 8 a.m. Pacific time. And I'm thinking about doing that as well at 8 a.m. One of the problems with the radio show that I was doing for KABC is that it was on Saturdays at 7 p.m. That's a, kind of an odd time as things turn out in the middle of the weekend. You have to drop everything and go do a radio show at 7 o'clock from 7 to, at one point the show was 3 hours long, doing the show from 7 to 10, which, on a Saturday night, that's hard to do. So we might do it. I might wake up first thing on Saturday mornings and hop on Blog Talk Radio and, do the shows, have people call in, that type of thing. Also, I know Grace is off today, so she's not going to hear this, but Georgia, one of the things that I want to implement for all the shows, your show, Cassandra's show, my shows, LJ shows, all the different shows that we now have, I want to implement a system where people can, quote unquote, call in. I know that they're posting, on the different websites and stuff, questions, but they're not really, unless you're me or the person who has control of the board, you're not really going to see all the questions and comments and get to them. And sometimes they type questions and it doesn't make sense and it's out without a background. So what I want to be able to do is to, in this software that we use, I think we're using StreamYard for these live streams. We have the ability to send a person an invite right now to come on the show, right? So if you wanted to come on the show, and you know what, we can try it today. Listen, if you're watching the show from any platform and you want to come on with us right now onto the show, post your name and your email in the comments, and we'll try to pick it up, and I'll send you an invite right now to bring you on the show. So, and you can ask your question. You'll be seen by thousands and thousands of people, and you'll get your message out. So if you want to do that, post in the show. And Jay Lowry asked another question. Does Vince do cases in Mexico? The answer is yes. I do have to get what is called Pro Hac Vice approval from the state of Mexico. But yes, I would come to Mexico and I would do your, I think you told me you had a civil rights case earlier in the comments. So yes, the answer is yes. Okay, here is Jesse Jones. Jesse, how can I talk to you, Vince? Well, if you want to do it on this live stream, just post your email. I'll send you an invite and you can jump on this live stream with us right now. Or you can just call me at 888-888-6582. And, you can make an appointment to talk to me on the phone. That's my office number. Okay, what else, Miss G? What else did you want to talk about?
Oftentimes people tell me that the social worker lied. I hear this a million times a day. I keep telling them that I do understand the social workers lie. They lie about everything. And but they want to know why is it overlooked? Why is it overlooked? And they're court-appointed attorneys. And this is from different counties, different states. I mean, I'm talking about Oregon, Orlando, California, LA. Doesn't matter. It's everywhere. The court-appointed attorney is not implementing it where it's just being overlooked. I told them that Davis does coaching and consulting package for people where he can give advice on cases and how to overturn, their case around by, following your instructions. So that's something that I would like people to know that you do have. If they can't afford an attorney, it might be a better retainer for them for the coaching and consulting, but they need to implement your instructions and not do it their own way. Because oftentimes I see people doing it their own way and not listening to your advice because they think they know better than Davis, which is really weird. But I've heard that before as well. I know better than Mr. Davis. Then why are you calling us? Why do you need our help? And
Right.
and then they get upset when I say that, when I ask them that, but I don't get it though. It's really weird. I don't know more than you. I will never know more than you. I feel like you're the commander in chief when it comes to court cases, and I'm talking about everything: civil, family law, criminal, juvenile. So I don't know.
She says it all the time. She looks up to you. She really does. She says it all the time. You're her mentor.
I don't believe it. Hold on, I'm trying to get Patrick on the screen with us. Hold on. Let's see if I can.
See, Cassandra, that's what I have to deal with every day.
I know. I think it's funny though.
You guys go ahead and talk while I try to get Patrick.
Every single day.
Patrick can see forever.
I'm glad to see a smile on your face finally today on the show, Miss G.
You made me cry at the beginning of the show, Cassandra. You're so sweet.
Sorry.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for just being sweet. Thank you. I appreciate you. I really do. Amy said, Mrs. G, I want to eventually do another show. Don't let these people win. Amy, I have your information, my love. I will give it to Grace and definitely be on that show.
Okay, Patrick. No, not Patrick. Jesse, I just sent you via email. I sent you the invite to get on this live stream with us right now. So go ahead and check, and then I'll bring you on. Here's a question, Shelley. Do you, if there is any way, if you have had your child removed, have had a past record, gotten your life together, and want to adopt in the future? Okay, so I'm not. Cassandra, what do you think
she's
she's
saying?
asking?
That she has had a CPS case before, got her kids back, and then wants to adopt her own? Like be a foster parent? Is that what she's trying to say?
I don't know.
In the future, adopt in the future.
What do you think
Oh,
she's
she
trying
wants
to?
to adopt a kid in the future, even if she's had a case before. Is that what she's trying to say? I think.
Yeah.
Can she? The
Yes.
answer is she can, but it's going to be difficult because she has to pass CPS record, right? Not impossible, just not as easy for
I have a question.
Okay.
Actually, similar. I was actually going to school for child development, wanted to be a preschool teacher. Is that possible still?
What state are you in, Cassandra?
California.
California.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's only 45 minutes away from me.
What county?
San Bernardino.
Oh, okay. The answer is yes. There might be some hurdles in the licensing process, but you're entitled to have like a separate hearing, state hearing in front of usually the Office of Administrative Hearings. And the answer is yes, it's a possibility.
Okay. Yeah, because I was going to school for child development when all this stuff happened because I wanted to be a preschool teacher. I love kids. Like, I love kids. I don't ever want to see a kid hurt ever, but I had this happen and then I gave up on that too. Like, I gave up on quite a little bit of things before I realized that I don't need to give up and I need to just keep on going. But it kind of just like hurt me, because my kids. But now I'm back on track and I'm doing this again and I'm trying to get everything back together in my life. And like I said, this whole thing has really helped me a lot.
I think Jesse needs to look at his junk mail because sometimes the link goes to a junk
it does
mail.
because it did for me. Your promotional junk mail, it goes there instead of to your regular email.
Or
So
Jesse,
your promo.
Jesse, if you send me your email to that email address I just posted, I'll also be looking for it and, help you get on the line with us.
Let's see. This is actually a good question. Or foster, can somebody that had a CPS case prior, can they foster children?
They can. They have to go through a whole process, though. Right? Because it's a little bit considered like, well, they have a prior case, a prior record.
Right. Cassandra, look what Amy wrote. She loves
Aww.
you. So do I. I love you guys too.
Love you.
Amy. Okay, I think Jesse is probably still emailing you. Amy also answered that they can use private adoption agency. Is that true, Vincent? If they have a previous CPS case and they want to adopt, can they use a private adoption agency, which means it works different than, getting it from being a foster parent?
The answer is yes, but it's still not, what they call guaranteed, right? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes. Nothing in life is guaranteed, Vincent, but the goal is to work towards that. Stacy said, can you help people with disabilities in Oregon? Mr. Davis has done cases in Oregon. I am a witness to that. And Mr. Davis, you can go ahead and answer that question.
The answer is yes. I just have to clear what's called the pro hoc vice status,
Right.
like for any case. So the answer is yes, I can.
But remember, guys, the pro hoc vici is not just happened overnight. It's a process, and you need to give it at least 3 weeks or more, depending. And it has to be approved by the judge as well. So you guys need to keep that in mind when you do hire us. Hire Mr. Davis. That is, don't expect it to be approved overnight.
Still looking for Jesse. Jesse, if you're there, did you email me at the email that I gave you? Maybe this is why we haven't done this before, Ms. G, because getting somebody an email, to the right email. Maybe I looked at
like,
it wrong.
Like Miss G was saying, when I get the email from you, it goes to my promotional folder in my emails, like as a ad, like if it was an ad. From Grace, when she sends it to me, it comes straight to my email. Don't know why,
weird.
But it does.
Yeah,
But also,
So
when
I
I
have
send
to look in my spam promotional ads folder in order to find your email.
that is
Right.
correct.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why. I think it's because you haven't saved the email to begin with. And I think that's what it is, because I do get a lot of emails in spam as well. But once I know the person, I clear it and then I save the email address and then it's not spam anymore.
Well, that's interesting. While we're waiting for Jesse, or we're going to run out of time today, what other questions, Cassandra, did you have?
I don't know right now. I'm really drawing a blank right now.
I will ask the questions, Cassandra. You're so cute.
I'm sorry, I drew a blank.
Could you explain to people what it is with delivered service log? You did mention to me before, Mr. Davis, that they would need to tell their attorney to provide them with a delivered service log. A lot of people would like to know what that means.
Okay, hold on. Jesse just asked me a question. He just said, I don't see your email. So I'm going to. Okay, Jesse, if you look at the screen right now, you will see my private email. I guess it's not so private anymore.
Nope. You always do that yourself. It's
v@vwdlaw.com.
He always does.
Jesse, do you see that?
He gave his cell number the other day and he's like, well, it's not private anymore. Oh my God.
Anyway, so delivered service logs. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, here you go. Every social worker in every state is mandated to keep track of their daily work in something called delivered service logs. Now, I believe that is a term used by the federal government, the Department of Health and Human Services. And what they are they're like a diary of record keeping that has to be kept on every case and is audited occasionally by the federal government. Okay, if they're keeping delivered service logs on cases. So, and it's a pretty strict audit from what I understand. So everything that happens in a case, the social worker is supposed to enter, an entry into what's called the delivered service logs. The other name that they're known by is Title 20s. And that was a reference to some type of federal regulation or something. But they're known basically by something called the delivered service logs. And when you get them, right on top of each page, it says delivered service logs.
What is the importance of the delivered service log when it pertains to the social workers? Because they do lie. And actually, Dirk actually said that, but they lie. So how is the service log going to help the parent exactly?
Sometimes they can help because the delivered service log will say one thing and the report that they file in court will say something else. But the most important thing that I find about delivered service logs is, a social worker will write a report to the judge, and that's what the judge gets. But when you actually read the delivered service logs, the case has a whole different twist to it. It's kind of like a completely different story. So the delivered service logs don't match the report to the judge, and you're only going to know that is if you read it. So I'll give you an example. This is kind of a bizarre example, but I've actually seen it. The delivered service log says, on day one, I talked to witness one, and witness one said the incident of abuse didn't happen. On day two, I talked to witness two, and said the witness said the incident of abuse didn't happen. And then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You got 10 witnesses who say that the abuse didn't happen. And then you have day 11, and the witness says, oh, the abuse did happen, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Well, when the social worker writes the report, it only says, witness so-and-so said the abuse did happen, right? But the other 10 entries, they're not there. So the judge doesn't know that there's 10 witnesses who say it didn't happen, just one witness that says that it did happen. So that's the type of thing, you know.
So it's kind of like a discovery, and then you would have to include evidence to discredit the
Basically,
social worker, correct?
if a social worker wanted to lie and get away with it, they'd have to have both of those match.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
and they're not going to take the time to do that because they have so many caseloads, right?
Well,
So they're
that's
going to
the
put what they
theory.
want in one and then
Right.
keep the other one.
That's the theory.
Okay.
And sometimes the person who makes the entry isn't, you know, the exact social worker. So sometimes there'll be 3 or 4 different social workers
Correct.
who are inputting into the delivered service logs. And it's my understanding, I've never seen this in action, that if social worker A inputs something, that doesn't mean social worker C sees it, right? Or social worker D sees social worker A's entry. So it gets kind of, you know, kind of sophisticated and complex. And here's the other thing. Whenever a social worker logs in to the system, because it's all computerized, there's a record of everything that social worker did, looked at, changed, modified, added. So you can actually go back and put things together and form a trace because everything is digital. Everything is digital now. So if you actually want to take the time, if you have the time, effort, and money, you can, you know, get to the bottom of things. I want to let Jesse know. Jesse, I just emailed you the link, so hopefully you have received it, and you will log on before it's time for us to log off.
Okay, I have a question. How long can they keep records of cases? And I know that they have to keep it in a system for like, you, meaning if the case is old, decade old, can you still get the records for that
Yeah,
case?
I think you can because they're digitally stored.
Correct. Now, how can they do that? If it's Monterey Park, for instance.
It doesn't matter where it is because the records are actually stored in a state database. I'm sure that each county keeps them as well for a certain amount of time. I don't know how long or how often, but I'm sure they do. But I know the state keeps it, you know, I don't know if it's indefinitely, but you can go back years. And how do you get that? Well, you have to be involved in a case, right? And you have to either make the request written or you can have to subpoena them. Okay. So that's, you know, and you need a case to be involved in to subpoena them. So all right. I added Jesse, but I don't see him.
I see him on waiting in the backstage, but I don't. I can't. We can't add him on the show for some reason.
I don't know either. Jesse, can you hear me?
Oh my God, that's a song. Jesse, can you hear me? Oh my gosh. It's an old song. Jesse, can you hear me?
For some reason, I can't add Jesse to the stream. That's weird. And although I do see him in the waiting area.
He's frozen. Vincent, I need you to answer MF Princess if you can, please. She asked a couple of times that question, and if you don't mind, when you get a chance to answer her.
Okay, CPS filed to detain 615 for newborn twins based on concerns related to a case from 2019. George ordered removal because parents didn't let CPS in the home. No evidence of new allegation. What can I do? Get a really good attorney. You know, and can I tell you anything more than that? Not really, because I haven't seen the detention report.
Yeah.
Can you fight it? Yes, absolutely. Because the social worker is going to have to show current risk of harm to the children.
Yep.
So you can fight it. I would need to see the detention report, and then we'd have to go from there. The detention report and the petition that was filed. If you're in California, they may call these things different things in different states.
Can you overturn a TPR case? Can you get it overturned?
Yeah, you can appeal, and if you win the appeal, it'll be overturned.
Amy asks, who signs that, Miss G? Miss Georgette.
No, she says, who sings that, Miss Georgette?
Sings that. Sorry. Oh my God, I can't even read today. I will tell you later, Amy. We'll talk about it tonight. I can't remember. It's a song. I can't remember.
MFP Princess just says that her case is in San Joaquin County, which is courts are in Stockton. One of my favorite places to do CPS cases. So
San Joaquin?
If MF Princess, if you can send Georgette or me the detention report or the petition, we can talk about it.
Don't forget. Remind me what your name is on the show, because so that way I remember.
Okay, so I'm trying to add Jesse.
Here he is. Hi, Jesse. I think Jesse.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah, he's frozen.
Hey, Jesse, do you have a slow Wi-Fi connection?
Yes, he does. You can tell.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. MF Princess just says, what email?
Just I'm going to give her my email address.
Okay. Okay, we're trying to bring Jesse, and maybe this is why we don't do it. Because we always have these technical difficulties. Jesse looks like he's in a car, so he's probably has some type of Wi-Fi. He might not be in a very fast location.
Yeah, we have that problem a lot, Mr. Davis. Grace and I tried to work with them, and even Cassandra, when she co-host with me, we tried very, very hard, and it just doesn't work.
We figured out a system, though, kind of, where like I pre-screen them so that way we see if their stuff works and if they are okay with everything and they know what they're doing. So that way when we get them on the show, everything's smooth.
Working smooth.
And I do the pre-screening, of course, but like we just make sure everything works before we
give her that role of the pre-screening. I know. She's like, I'll help you, Miss G. I'll help you. She's actually doing a good job. Somebody asked if you handle cases in Washington. Yes, he does, you guys. He handles cases in Washington, like Mr. Davis said. You have to understand that Pro Hoc Vici is important. It has to be approved. Judge has to approve it in order for him to handle your case in that state. That goes for any state. I'm not sure about Canada. Some of you asked me about Canada and oh my God, Canada and United Kingdom. I haven't yet discussed that with Mr. Davis, but Mr. Davis can disclose cases in Canada and United Kingdom. Is that something you can do, Mr. Davis?
The answer is yes. I actually looked that up a couple of years ago for someone. And there is Pro Hoc Vici status in Canada and in the UK. So the answer is yes.
What about Africa?
It depends on what country.
There's CPS in Africa. I can't remember the country, but I did text it to you last year. I will have to find it. So
all we have to do is find out if they offer Pro Hoc Vici status. And all I have to do is apply. And once applied, I have to be approved. And if approved, then I can go there.
Okay.
But it just depends.
Okay.
I want to say to Jesse, if you're listening to us, bro, we tried to bring you on. You apparently have very slow Wi-Fi wherever you are. and we couldn't bring you on, but let's try to keep getting you on the show. We're going to have shows every week. As a matter of fact, we're going to have a show tomorrow. Cassandra's new show is at 9 o'clock a.m. And Cassandra, I was just looking at my schedule. I'm free tomorrow at 9, so if you want, I can help you. I can join you tomorrow, and
Okay.
we can do the show together. You have to text me and remind me though,
Okay.
okay? Because it's not in my calendar. I might wake up tomorrow and think, oh, I don't have anything to do at 9 o'clock, and then it'll be suddenly dawned on me, oh, where are you? I thought David said he was here. Okay. All right.
Now I know this question again. How do we get your help in Oregon? And do you need to ask? Do I need to ask the judge? You don't ask the judge anything, Mr.
Hold on.
Davis. Handle. Oh.
Stacy, if you want to talk to me or Georgette about how to get your help in Oregon, call the 888 number that's on the screen, 888-888-6582, and ask for Georgette or ask for me, and we'll talk to you and go through the different steps. The one thing that you do not do is you do not ask the judge before I file anything. Okay?
Mhm.
All right. Hey, folks, we've come to the end of the day. We've been on for an hour. Time goes by so fast when you're having fun. Cassandra, I want to thank you for joining us. Ms. G, thank you for joining us. It's Sunday afternoon. And hey, Cassandra, if you send me a text, I'll be on tomorrow with you. All right?
Okay.
So
You're gonna enjoy. Cassandra is great, Vincent. When I first had her co-host with me, real quick, she was so shy. I think she only said one word at the beginning, and I kept working with her until she's amazing. She's truly amazing. I love you, Cassandra. I'm very proud of you.
Thank you. Love you too.
You're
You're
there
making me all
is.
blushy.
Hold on a second, you guys. I just got an email from a viewer
Uh-huh.
on the YouTube channel, and he said he just emailed me. Hold on a second. He just emailed me, and he wants to come on this stream. So let me try to pull it up. And of course, I don't see his email. Oh, yes, I do. All right, here is his email. I'm going to put in the link. All right, so Jay Lowry, I just sent you the link to the show. And we'll extend the show if you get on in the next couple of minutes.
Oh.
We'll see if you can get on the show, and we'll listen to your story and see what's going on. We're going to give a few minutes for him. Here's Stacy says, I'm trying to call you, Mr. V. Hey, Stacy, today's Sunday, so you're probably going to get the receptionist. I'm here doing a show.
Actually, you don't have the office is closed on Sunday. We don't have anyone answering the phones, so she's not going to be able to get anyone. Yeah.
We'll have to talk about that, Miss G. There's supposed to be people answering 24/7. We'll talk about it.
Interesting.
What happened to Cassandra?
She's probably getting a drink, water. She's probably hot. She couldn't do the show from inside her house because she has people there, family. So she has to sit in the car to do the show.
Okay, so I sent Jay Lowry the link, and I don't know if he's received it.
Uh-huh.
Oh, well. Yeah, I guess he hasn't received it, Miss G. So we're just going to go ahead and sign off, and maybe we can do it again with him tomorrow. Again, thank you, Miss G. Thank you, Cassandra, and everyone else. Have a nice evening, and we'll see you guys tomorrow on Monday morning at 9 a.m. Good night, all.
Good night.